Hi everybody, Alice here again with another video and another one from Codex Imperial Agents. This particular video I thought we'd have a look at the detachment options available in the Codex, go over them, talk about them, that sort of thing. So there's 4 detachments altogether in the book, one for each of the major orders, so Ordo Xenos, Ordo Hereticus, Ordo Malleus, and then there's the 4th one, which is the Imperialis fleet. But let's start from the beginning, and the beginning in this case is the Ordo Xenos, aka the Alien Hunters. So what do you get with their detachment? Well, the detachment will Deathwatch mission tactics. So at the start of your command phase, you can select one of the mission tactics listed below until your next command phase. That mission tactic is active and it applies to all Deathwatch units from your army. Each mission tactic can only be selected once per battle. So if you take the average battle, 6 rounds, 6 turns, you're going to get to use all 3 of them all 3 of the following at one point. So let's start at the beginning. So the first is the few war tactics. So that reads, whilst this mission tactic is active, Deathwatch units from your army have the sustained hit 1 ability. So essentially, extra hits, which is never a bad thing. You can never complain about extra hits when you're doing the PPUs or the choppy chops. The next tactic you have on for your delectation is the Malleus tactics. So as this is active, weapons equipped with Deathwatch units have the lethal hits rule. And finally, your third tactic to pick from is the Pegasus tactic. Whilst this one's active, each time a Deathwatch army makes an attack on a critical wound, that attack has precision. So all of them are solid enough. All of them are solid enough for multi-purpose utility. I'd probably say the Fu was the pick of the 3, but lethal hits is never a bad thing, and if you're lucky enough to get the wall on it for a critical wound, precision's never bad either. But for multi-purpose utility, Fu War wins it for me. Now we go into the enhancements. Now, for old money 40k players, enhancements are the 10th edition what relics are to previous editions, in essence. So let's start from the top. Universal and Anathema. Armies of the Imperial model only. Melee weapons equipped by the bearer have the Anti-Infantry 2+ and Anti-Monster 4+ abilities. Very nice. So you're wounded infantry on 2s and your wounded monsters on 4s. It's a nice little boost if you want to give it to your Inquisitor or your Deathwatch Captain. Making your life easier to wound stuff again is never a bad thing. The next enhancement you can pick from, the Black Wave Shroud. Army of Imperial model, straight up 4+ feel no pain save. A nice resistance buff. 4+, shrug off a wound, forget about it. It's always a solid choice. The third is the Beacon Angelus, which is for Watchmasters only. Models in this bearer's unit have Deep Strike. In addition, you can target the bearer's unit with the Rapid Ingress stratagem for 0 CP. So you can stick a Watch Captain in with a kill team, and you can pretty much get them straight in there where you want them to benefit your battle plan. And finally, the final of the enhancements is the Amulet of Auto-Chastisement. Again, another Watchmaster only one. So at the start of your opponent's shooting phase, select one enemy vehicle, excluding Titanic, units within 12 of and visible to the bearer. That unit must take a leadership test. If that test is passed until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. If it's failed, the unit isn't eligible to shoot in that phase. Thematically, quite cool, but there's better options for Ordo Xenos enhancements. My pick of the bunch there would be either the Universal Anathema or the Black Wave Shroud, depending on how you want to build the agent of the Imperial model that can take it. Do you want to make them wound things easier, or do you want to give them a layer of protection? Flip a coin either way, but both are solid enhancements. So, next up, let's go and delve into the stratagems available to the Ordo Xenos detachment. An old friend of Astartes everywhere, Armour of Contempt. 1 CP, so you use it in your opponent's shooting phase just after the enemy unit has selected what it wants to shoot. Target: 1 Deathwatch unit from your army selected as the target, and then until the end of the phase, you worsen that shooting attack's AP by 1. Nice little protection buff for your Deathwatch kill teams. 1 CP, can't complain. Saves you from fee, gives you that extra layer of protection from the likes of Tau plasma rifles and that sort of thing. All in all, solid stratagem. Next one, Adaptive Tactics. So you use it in your command phase and you select the Deathwatch unit. And going back to the Deathwatch tactics that we mentioned at the beginning, this basically allows one unit to have, if you like, a different tactic from the rest of the army, even if you've already used it. So, say you've already used the Furor tactic and you've got the Malleus tactic on, you can pop this stratagem for 1 command point in the command phase and you go, right, this unit is using the Furor tactic again. Nice stratagem, can't complain. Hellfire rounds, another classic Astartes thing, especially against Tyranids. 1 CP, so you use it in your shooting phase, you select the Deathwatch infantry unit to use it on, and until the end of the phase, ranged weapons, excluding devastating wound weapons, equipped by models in your unit have anti-infantry 2+ and anti-monster 5+. And it does have restrictions. You can't use it on a unit that's being targeted by the next 2 stratagems, Kraken rounds and Dragonfire rounds. So this is where the Deathwatch special ammunition comes into play. Now, this is a rule that Deathwatch used to have in previous editions where they could have all sorts of weird and wonderful ammo types, being alien hunters, and they were a bit like Batman. They had a gadget, or in their case, a bullet for every enemy. So, what do you think of Hellfire rounds? Again, making your life easier to wound things is always a bonus. Anti-infantry 2+, we'll take that. Anti-monster 5+. If you're taking one of my favourite heavy weapons available to Deathwatch kill teams, the Inverness Heavy Bolter, beautiful thing. Because ordinarily it would have a harder time wounding monsters. The fact you can go, okay, I've popped this, I wound monsters on a 5. Good choice. And there's only 1 CP as well, which is very nice. So now to the next funky bullets Deathwatch have. The Dragonfire rounds. So same again, you'd use it on a Deathwatch infantry unit in your shooting phase. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit have assault and ignore cover. So assault basically means they can move and shoot without a penalty, which is always nice. And ignore cover is what it says on the tin. Now, ignore cover was a rule that was pretty much the domain of flamers back in the day, in previous editions. So, yeah, you can ignore a layer of protection for an enemy unit, and you can move and shoot without penalty whilst doing it. Can't complain. Next up, we have the Kraken rounds. Again, using your shooting phase on your Deathwatch infantry unit. Until the end of the phase, improve the armor penetration characteristic of ranged weapons in this unit by 1, and improve the range by 6. Now, much as I said, making your life easier to wound is a good thing, I'd probably say the Kraken rounds for this is my favourite. Your guns get that bit punchier against armour, and you have 6 inches of extra range. So it's like, I'm not quite in range for this. So it's a case of, I take my kill team. If I move them to get them into a firing position, they're in the enemy's crosshairs. Use the Kraken rounds. You have a 6-inch extra layer of protection where you can shoot them, but they can't shoot you. Can't complain at that. And then there's finally, to round off the Ordo Xenos stratagems, there's the rapid tactical relocation. So you use that at the end of your opponent's fight phase. It can be used on an Inquisitor or Deathwatch infantry unit. So you remove a unit from the battlefield in the reinforcement step of your next movement phase, then set it up. You remove it from the battlefield, so then in the reinforcements phase, in your next movement phase, you can set it up anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 9 inches horizontally away from the enemy models. So essentially, you can yeet a model off the board, deep strike it in. It's a repositioning tool or a position. Yeah, it's a repositioning tool basically. Can't complain. It's always a nice ace in the hole to have. So yeah, decent set of stratagems for the Ordo Xenos. They've got a couple of good enhancements. The tactics aren't bad. 2 out of 3 of them I'd definitely go to. So yeah, I quite like the Ordo Xenos detachment, and I've always had a bit of a soft spot for them. The Ordo Xenos has always been my favourite inquisitorial Ordo. So, next up, the Ordo Hereticus, aka the Witch Hunters. So let's go with their detachment rule. Root out heresy. Ranged weapons equipped by Adeptus Arbites, Inquisitor, Inquisitorial Agents, and Ordo Hereticus models have the ignore cover rule. So in other words, you laugh at cover. It's going to offer no benefit to your opponent whatsoever using this detachment. There's more. Each time Adeptus Arbites, Inquisitorial Agent, or Ordo Hereticus model from your army makes an attack that targets a Chaos unit with 5 or more models in it, it has the sustained hits 1 will. The sustained hits 1 ability, I should say. So, potentially extra hits when you're fighting Chaos units. Can't quit, can't complain. Solid detachment rule across the board. So let's get into the Hereticus's enhancements. So you've got the Liber Heresius. So it's Inquisitors or Priests that can have this. After both players have deployed their armies, select the free agent of the Imperial units from your army and redeploy them. When doing so, you can set these units up in strategic reserves if you wish, regardless of how many units are already in strategic reserve. Deployment shenanigans for a TLDR version of that. Set everything up. Your opponent might have a rough plan. Okay, I'm going to prioritize X, Y, and Z. You can go, no, I'm going to move A, B, and I'm going to take A, B, and C off the board and mess with your plan entirely. Bit shenanigan-y, but some people like deployment shenanigans and they can work. Next up, No Escape, which is an aura ability for an enhancement that gives aura ability for Inquisitors. So as an enemy unit is within 6 of the bearer, each time it's selected to fall back, it must take a leadership test. If it fails, the unit must be made stationary that phase instead. Situational. If you can get it on the right unit and they fail, it can be decent, but it's a bit too situational for my tastes, and as an enhancement in a multi-purpose take all comers list, feels a bit. You'd have to build around getting it to work. Yeah, I'm not keen on that. There's circumstances with it, but it does feel a bit too situational and gimmicky. Next up, Witch Hunter. So again, Inquisitors are priests, whilst the bearer's leading a unit. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets a psychic unit, you can reroll the hit roll. Again, somewhat situational, but not as situational as No Escape. Now, again, certain armies that I'm looking at, Grey Knights, Seer Council Heavy Eldari, Thousand Suns, that can come in useful because they have lots of psychers on the board, even Tyranids to an extent. If they're bringing plenty of Zoanthropes and Tyrants and that sort of thing. So it's still a bit specialised, but it kind of thematically fits with what the Ordo Hereticus is about, but it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Against certain things, it will shine. Against others, it's a bit pointless. And finally, you've got the Ignis Judicium. Again, Inquisitors are priests. The bearer's ranged weapons have devastating wounds, melt of one, and precision ability. This is my pick of the Ordo Hereticus enhancements. So your Inquisitor's ball pistol or combi weapon can turn into an absolute machine. So you've got devastating wounds, you have the devastating wounds wibble, you have the melter wibble, and you have the precision wibble. So in both cases, you can turn the ranged weapons from blech into something your opponent will have to somewhat take into account and maybe worry about. Now, for me, it's kind of the best enhancement of quite a weak list, if I'm being honest. I think the Ordo Hereticus Detachment falls short in enhancements. That's probably the pick of the bunch. I'd probably put the Liber Heresius in second. No Escapers, Stone Dead last. Witch Hunter, I'd probably have that as 2B with the Liber Heresius. Not a great selection. I reckon the Ignis Judicium is the pick of the bunch. So let's get into their stratagems. So you've got stun grenades. So you use it at the start of any phase except the command phase. And it can be you can target one Adeptus Arbi, Inquisitorial Agent or Ordo Hereticus Grenades unit from your army that isn't engagement range with one or more enemy units. So you select an enemy unit, excluding monsters or vehicles within 6 and visible to that unit. Enemy unit has to take a battle shock test, and until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes a hit, an attack, they're -1 to hit. It's not bad. Putting debuffs is never the worst thing in the world, but it's not bad. I'll leave it at that. That's not bad. Dispense Justice. So you use it in the shooting or the fight phase. You can put it on an Adeptus Arbi Inquisitorial Agent or Ordo Heretics unit that hasn't been selected to shoot or fight yet. Until the end of your phase, weapons equipped by models in the unit have the lethal hits ability. Okay, now things are looking up. Can't argue with that. Straight up, lethal hits. We'll take it. That's the pick for strategy. Both of those cost 1 command point, by the way. The next one, again, unless I say different, they all cost 1 command point, just to save a little bit of time. Inviolate Jurisdiction is the next one. So you use it in your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase just after an enemy unit selected its targets. Again, you can use it on one Adeptus Arbi Inquisitorial Agent or Ordo Hereticus infantry unit from your army within range of an objective marker and was selected as the target of one or more of the enemy attacking unit attacks. Games Workshop do like to get wordy with some of these things when fewer words would explain it. But anyway, what does it do? Your unit gets a 5+ feel no pain. Very solid, nice little nice protection buff. Can't argue with it. We like that. Execution Order, and we're not talking about Order 66. Star Wars reference. So you use it in your command phase. Again, you select an Adeptus Arbi Inquisitorial Agent or Ordo Hereticus unit. And then you select one enemy character on the battlefield until the start of your next command phase. Each time a model in your unit targets that character unit, its weapons have precision. When you absolutely want to try and take down a certain character. Fair enough. Line of fire, use it in your shooting phase. Again, you select one Adeptus Arbi Inquisitorial Agent or Ordo Hereticus unit that hasn't been selected to shoot yet. Until the end of the phase, models in your unit can target enemy units that are within engagement range of one or more friendly units with ranged weapons, excluding blast, provided the target's within 12. So essentially, what you can do with that is, if, say, a unit of Orc Boys is going to charge one of your units of Battle Sisters, you can pop this and go, yeah, let's help them out and let's help them out and thin some numbers a bit. Not spectacular, but it has its uses. And finally, Exact Punishment. So use it in your opponent's shooting phase just after an agent of the Imperial unit for your army has been destroyed as a result of an enemy unit's attacks. So if a unit's been wiped, you can use this. So again, you select one Adeptus Arbi Inquisitorial Agent or Ordo Hereticus unit from your army that was within 6 of the destroyed unit. And then the effect of that is, after the attacking unit is shot, your unit can shoot as if it was your shooting phase. But they can only target that unit. So, enemy unit, just take for argument's sake, kills a character within 6 of Again, for argument's sake, we'll use the Sisters of Battle unit. Plot this stratagem: Sisters of Battle unit can shoot the unit that killed the Inquisitor. Not bad. And that to me seems, looking at it, the theme of the Ordo Hereticus detachment. It's just not bad. There's nothing screams spectacular about it. It's not bad, very specialised, but again, you're going to expect that somewhat with the Ordo detachments, because the Ordos are, Inquisitorial Ordos are specialised to fight certain things. So, Ordo Xenos, Aliens, Ordo Hereticus, Psychers and Witches and that sort of thing. And Ordo Malleus, which we'll be coming to next, Demons. Speaking of devils, Demon Hunters. So let's go to their detachment rule. Destroy the demonic. Each time an Inquisitor, Inquisitorial Agent or Ordo Malleus model from your army makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1, and if the target of attack was a demon, reroll a wound roll of 1 as well. Not bad. Rerolls of any sort are always a half decent thing. It's not bad. So let's go into the enhancements. Formidable Resolve. So this is an Inquisitor only one. So improved leadership and wounds characteristic by 1. Again, can't argue with stat boosts. Once per battle at the start of any phase, you can select one friendly battle shocked unit within 12 of a bearer. That unit is no longer battle shocked. The second part's nice, if a little situational. The first part of that, the stat increases, you can't argue with. It's okay, it's decent. Demon Slayer. Again, Inquisitors only. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons. And those weapons have the anti-demon 3+ ability. Again, specialised, but extra attack, and you can wound anything with a demon keyword on a 3+. Specialised, but solid. But like I said, it's all of the Ordo detachments to a degree are going to be specialised. I mean, the Ordo Xenos might be a bit more multi-purpose on the basis that there's a lot of Xenos armies out there, but there's a lot of different Xenos. You've got like your Tyranids, you've got your Tau, you've got your Orcs, you've got your Eldari, to name but a few. Although Hereticus really need to go against Psychers to sing, although Malleus really need Demons to sing. Really, they come into their own against Chaos. But let's go to the next thing. The Grimoire of True Names, which is an OOF that you can give to Inquisitors. Whilst the enemy units within 9 of the bearer, 9 inches I should say, worsen the leadership characteristic of models in that unit by 1. In addition, whilst an enemy demon unit is within 9 of the bearer, each time a model in that demon unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll and 1 from the wound roll. Ultra specialised. If you're fighting demons, it could be worth the take, but it's ultra specialised and not that great, to be honest. I mean, if you could put it on another character besides an Inquisitor, it might be a bit better, but Inquisitors are fairly squishy. There's better options. And the final enhancement for the Ordo Malleus is Gift of the Prescient. Again, Inquisitors only. Once per battle, if the bearer is on the battlefield, you can use the Rapid Ingress stratagem for 0 CP. When doing so, you must target a Grey Knight, terminate a squad from your army, and when using that stratagem, that unit can Set up anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 3 inches away from all enemy units. As a multi-purpose enhancement, this one's my pick. You can just use it as a delivery system to get a unit of Grey Knight Terminators exactly where you want them to do maximum damage. The rest of them, they're pretty, besides Formidable Resolve, which I'd probably put in second place. Unless you're fighting Chaos or Demons, they're not really worth it. But again, it's going back to the thing of the Inquisitorial Orders being specialised to fight what they were created to fight. So let's get to the stratagems for the Ordo Malleus. So you've got the Ritual of Warden. So you use it at the start of any command phase. You'd select one Inquisitorial Agents or Ordo Malleus unit within range of an objective marker you control. Excuse me. That objective marker is said to be warded and remains under your control, even if you have no models within range of it, until your opponent controls it at the start or end of any turn. Whilst an objective marker is warded and under your control, enemy demon units can't be set up within the battlefield on the battlefield within 6 foot. Again, incredibly specialised. If you're not fighting demons, it's pointless. It's a bit pointless, I should say. Rites of Exorcism. Use it in your shooting or your fighting phase. Select an Inquisitorial Agent or Malleus unit from your army to use it on. Select one enemy demon unit within 12 and visible to your unit. That unit must take a battle shock test. If a test has failed, then until the end of a phase, each time an agent of the Imperial unit makes an attack that targets that demon unit, that attack has a devastating wounds ability. Again, very specialised, but if you're fighting demons, depending on what demon you use it on, it can be incredibly effective. Steelheart. So you use it in your movement phase just after a Grey Knight Terminator squad from your army falls back, and the target is that squad. So until the end of a turn, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. Solid. Probably the most multi-purpose stratagem thus far for the Ordo Malleus. Solid, can't argue with it. True Silver Armour. So you use it in your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase just after enemy unit has selected its targets, and you can use it on a Grey Knight Terminator squad that was just selected as the target for one or more of the attacking units' hit attacks. So until the end of a phase, each time an attack targets a unit, worsen the AP by 1. Solid defensive buff, multi-purpose, we like it. Hexagramic Wards. So you use it in your opponent's shooting phase or fighting phase just after they've selected its targets. You can use it on one Ordo Malleus unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more attacks from an enemy unit. Until the end of that phase, all psychic weapons equipped by models in the attacking unit have the hazardous ability. Again, very situational. But if they're using psychic weapons to attack you, fair enough, but bit situational. And that's, again, the story of all of the Ordo detachments. Finally, Cyborg ammunition, an old friend of Grey Knights everywhere. So you use it in your shooting phase on the Grey Knight Terminator squad. Until the end of a phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit have lethal hits and the psychic abilities. Again, solid and multi-purpose. So It's a mixed bag, their stratagems. 3 very specialised, 3 more multi-purpose. If I was to put the auto detachments in an order, for me, it would be Xenos, Malleus, Hereticus. I can't, outside of a handful of cases, I can't see where the Hereticus detachment will do anything. Although Xenos is the most multi-purpose one, if you want to say that. Nordo Malleus, whilst it has some things that are incredibly specialised, it does have multi-purpose utility as well for all comers, which is why it takes second spot for me. But we have one more contender, and that is the Imperialis Fleet Detachment. Now, their detachment rule is at all costs. So at the start of your command phase, you can select one of the following to apply. Eliminate at all costs. Select one enemy unit on the battlefield until the start of your next command phase. Each time an Agents of the Imperial model from your army makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, add 1 to the hit roll. Adding it. Making your life easier, like I've said, making your life easier to hit or wound is always a good thing. Can't argue with it. Your second option, acquire at all costs. Select one objective marker on the battlefield. Until the end of your command phase, whilst an Agents of the Imperium unit from your army is within range of that objective marker, improve the leadership and objective control characteristic of models in that unit by 1, and the unit has a 5+ save. For when you absolutely want to hold an objective, you can't argue with it. Extra layer of protection, stat buffs. Yeah, you can't argue with it. Let's go into the enhancements. So, digital weapons, Agent of the Imperial model only. Each time a bear is selected to fight, roll 3d6 for each. Roll 3d6 for each 4+. One enemy unit within engagement range of the bearer suffers a mortal wound. Mortal wounds inflicted by this enhancement are allocated as if they had the precision ability. Nice little ace in the hole to potentially put more wounds on the target. We like it. Clandestine operation. Again, Agents of the Imperial model only. At the start of a declared battle formation step, you can select up to 3 Agents of the Imperium infantry units from your army, excluding Grey Knight Terminators. These units gain the infiltrate ability. More deployment shenanigans. More things to keep your opponent on your toes. Fleet Master. Voidfarer's model only. Once per battle bound, you can target the bearer's unit with the violent acquisition. Masters of the Void or close quarters barrage stratagems for 0 CP. Solid. Nice way to save on your command points. Solid if not unspectacular. And the final option is Combat Landers. Again, a Voidfarer's model. At the start of the declared battle formation step, you can select up to 3 Voidfarer's units from your army. These models gain the Deep Strike ability. Again, more potential deployment shenanigans. If you're into that sort of thing, you've got plenty of options with the Imperialis Fleet Detachment. And let's get into the stratagems to round things out. So you've got Violent Acquisition, which we mentioned before in one of the enhancements. You can use it in your shooting phase or your fighting phase. And you select 1 Agents of the Imperium unit in your army. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets an enemy unit within range of an objective marker, that attack has sustained hits 1, lands and ignores cover abilities. For when you absolutely positively want to take an objective. Lives up to its name, Violent Acquisition, Hostile Takeover, whatever way you want to call it. This is the stratagem for you. and that one's 2 CP, by the way. Masters of the Void, use in your movement phase, you can target a Void Faber's character with it. Until the end of a phase, each agent of the Imperium unit in the army that is surviving in strategic preserves its turn can be set up within your opponent's deployment zone. All of the restrictions apply. Well, it's a nice trick if you want to mess with your opponent's battle plans. Just go, boop, hi. Close Quarters Barrage, another one that we mentioned previously. So you use it in your shooting phase on a Void Faber's unit from your army. Until the end of a phase, each time a model in your unit makes a ranged attack that targets a unit within 12, improve the strength and armor penetration characteristics of that attack by 1. Can't complain. Makes your life easier with the wound roll with the extra strength. Makes life easier for hurting things with the extra point of AP. Can't complain at that. Emperor's Will. Movement, use it in your movement phase. Put on agents of the Imperium unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. Nice little movement shenanigans stratagem there for you. Next up is Displace a Field. Use it in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit selected its target. On an agent of the Imperium character unit from your army, except assassins, that was selected as the target for one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. And essentially, until the end of the phase, models in the unit have a full up in run save, and after the attacking unit has resolved its attacks, unless your unit is within engagement range of one or more enemy units, it can make a normal move up to 6 inches. When doing so, they can move as if you had the fly keywords. So you get an in run save and go and do the thing of fuck this shit, I'm out, and Scarper in the opposite direction. Assuming they survive, of course. And finally, Selfless Bodyguard. So you use it again in your opponent's shooting or fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its target. On an Agents of the Imperium attached unit that was selected as the target for one or more of the attacker's attacks. Till the end of the phase, each time an attack with the precision key ability is allocated to a character model in your unit, if there are one or more bodyguard models in this unit, roll a d6. On the 2+, the bodyguard is allocated to a bodyguard model of your choice in your unit instead. So if you have an Inquisitor with some bodyguards, essentially they can take the shot for you on the 2+. Not bad. I think there's probably better stratagem choices, but it's not bad. And that brings everything that brings the detachments review to a close. So, what do I reckon? For me, my favourite is still the Ordo Xenos. The Imperialis fleet is interesting. It's definitely the most multi-purpose of the 4. But for me, the Ordo Xenos still wins out. I might be biased with that, with it being my favourite Ordo, but still, if I was to use any of these, it would be the Ordo Xenos. I'd probably put the Imperialis fleet in second above the Ordo Malleus. But yeah, that is the detachments review for Codex Imperial Agents. So, what do you guys think? As always, let me know in the comments, and until the next video, I shall catch you later. Bye!